going on, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. I know I've been away for a little while. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but today I'm at the Wolfgang Poker and meetup, and I'm excited to get back to filming because they've not allowed it in a while, but I'm assuming they will because Wolfgang is a pretty good vlogger. And today I'm at Chevy Chase and Wheeling, and yeah, let's just get back into it. Made it to Rockford Charitables in Winnetka. We got 2 tables and 1, maybe more in the future. Got Jack from NextGen coming out. Should be fun. Let's go. In this first hand, I look down at King Jack of Hearts in the small blind. Late position raises to 8, and I 3-bet to 20. And on the flop of Queen 5-3 Rainbow, I decided to c-bet to $10, and that of which he called. I definitely should have sized up on this flop because I have a lot of queens in my range, and to get him to fold some pairs that have some equity. But with the turn of the ace of spades, I definitely think I should continue my aggression as I have a lot of aces, and he just has middling pocket pairs likely. So I decide to bet $30 on this ace turn, and he calls. Now I'm putting him on some pretty strong hands, such as ace X with a solid kicker, or such as queens that are calling me light. Now with the river of a king of diamonds, and now that I have some showdown value, I just decide to check and give up against a queen, or potentially just lose to an ace. But he ultimately groans and checks back and shows ace 10, so I think the flop bet was a little bit of a misplay. On to the next hand. In this next hand, I look down at 2 red kings in middle position, and there is 2 limps before I raise to 12, and there's 1 call from late position, and early position folds, and the other one calls. Now the flop comes 10 of spades, 7 of spades, 4 of clubs. I bet 20 when it's checked to me, and both late position and early position call. Now the turn comes one of the worst cards in the deck that I could have seen in the ace or 8 of spades. And surprisingly, it actually checks through on this turn. Now the river comes the 4 of hearts, so this makes me feel much better about my hand, as I beat a lot of 2-pair hands such as 7-10 or 8-7 or 10-8 that decided to get tricky. So I decided to lead when it's checked to me for $30. And now the late position raises me to 75. While it is a small raise, I don't really see how I can fold when the turn checked through when the flush got there. And I block a lot of flush bluff opportunities with 2 red kings. So I decided to shrug and make the call for 75, as he's not really representing a whole lot. And when I call, he says I'm good and mucks, so I'm glad I was able to get a little extra value by slow playing the kings on that turn, and took down a pretty healthy pot with that one. In this next hand, from the small blind, I look down at the king's counterparts, and that is 2 red queens in the small blind, and it limps all the way to me, and I raise to 15, definitely on the smaller side, and I get the big blind, under the gun +1, and 2 late position players to call. So we're going 5 ways to a flop with queens. Not ideal, but when the flop comes ace 9 queen, we flop a set and are first to act. So we definitely have to get some value from aces and those jack 10 hands. So we decided to lead out here for 50. With so many people in the hand, someone has to have some sort of piece of this. And we bet 50, and everybody actually folds. So kind of unfortunate. I guess I could have went a little bit smaller, but my thinking is someone had to have had an ace. But whatever, we'll take down a pot, $75. In this next hand, I look down at ace 8 of clubs from middle position, and I open to 10. before the small blind raises to 20. So I call, and the flop is ace 4 deuce with 2 hearts. He c-bets to 20, and I got a pair of aces, top pair. So I decide to call. I'm not really sure what I'm hoping to look for on the turn, but I have top pair, so I can't fold. The turn is now the 6 of diamonds, so that adds a second flush draw, and he leads again for 40. And my logic is I have top pair, I can't fold yet. I don't think the draws are there, so I decide to call, and when the river is the jack of diamonds, I'm pretty grossed out because I'm not sure what he's representing here. Just it's always going to be an ace with a better kicker, and he bets 125, and I fold. I could debate a call against the missed flush, but he was repping a strong ace from the beginning, so I like my fold. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. In this next hand, I open from under the gun +1 with ace 4 of diamonds, and we get one call from middle position. Now we go to a flop of 3, 7, 4, 2 spades, and I decide to lead with my pair of fours for $8. Now that brings us to the ace of hearts on the turn, which gives us 2 pair, and I decide to continue the aggression and target any 9 or these spade draws, and I bet $20. Now with this turn, he decides to raise to 45. Well, he could have some ace X of spade hands. I don't really think there's much reason to raise this. Now when the river comes the 6 of diamonds, most draws break off other than some gut shots, but I decide to check to him. He bets 50, and I snap it off with 2 pair, and we are good. In this next hand, from the undergun +1 position, I look at king of spades, queen of hearts, and I open to 10. I get 2 callers in one middle position and the big blind, and we go 3 ways to a flop of 10 queen 8 with 2 diamonds. I get checked to and c-bet my top pair with decent kicker and get both players to make the call. Now off to a turn of a 3 of spades. Now when I get checked to, I assume I have the best hand and have to charge the multitude of draws that are out there, straight draws, flush draws. And I bet $40 and get snap called by the middle position before the big blind says those dreaded words.
All in?
Gosh darn it. Why do I have to come to that decision? So here you see me tanking for probably about 2 minutes, and I just think there's too many draws for me to not call this with my top pair, and I flick in the 90. And we go to a river in a $336 pot, hoping to not see a diamond or a jack or a 9. And we see the deuce of diamonds, but he actually tells me he has 2 pair and flips over 10-3 of hearts. These are the type of players you want to have at your table, and I'm just glad I got that information out of him, and it'll come in. In this next hand, we look down at the best hand made in poker, pocket aces and under the gun +1, and we open to 10 and get 2 folds before middle position raises to 30, and then get a call from my direct right in the small blind. And I don't want to go multi-way to a flop, so I ultimately decide to count my stack out here and ship it all in for about 216 total, because I don't want to go to a flop multi-ways, and there's just a lot of poker analysis involved in this hand, jamming with aces. And we ultimately get called by jacks.
Yeah, we can run it twice, yeah.
Twice?
Yeah.
Twice? Alright, here we go. Oh my god, I made it. That's great. I made it. That's great twice! 4-5.
In this next hand, I'm in the small blind, and the button raises to 10, and I make the call with pocket deuces. We're going to go set mining with the ducks, and we do. We hit the flop, and it comes 3 deuce queen. We play in flow and check to the aggressor, who c-bets to $10. I call, and the turn is an ace. So great card for him, and a great card for me to check raise. And it actually goes check, check. So that killed my plans. But when the river is an 8, I lead for 35. And he raises to 75. I call, and he flips over ace-3 for a 2-pair. And I definitely could have raised that river or raised the flop, but either way, we'll take down the pot. Moving on to this next hand. This has to be my favorite hand I played all night. I have ace-10 offsuit and call a raise pre-flop to 10. Me, small blind, and big blind all make the call. So we're 3 ways to a flop of 10 of spades, 5 of hearts, 4 of hearts. And there's a raise from the big blind, and the late position re-raises to 30. So I call with my top, and small blind and big blind both fold. Now the turn is a 5 of diamonds, and all in all, I think this is a great card, as I now have 2 pair with an ace kicker. And he continues the aggression, as he doesn't really seem fazed by this 5, and he bets 55. I don't really think this 5 helps him that much, and I really think he's on a heart draw. So I make the call, and the river comes the deuce of spades. So 3-7 gets there for the straight, but that's not really his range. He bets 110. I call, and I'm good. Honestly, I thought this was one of my best reads of the night, and I'm glad I took the pot. In the last hand of the night, we are in the big blind, and we look down at pocket aces. The straddle is on, and there's 4 callers. We race to 40, and everyone folds, and we take it down. Yeah, great hand. Free money. Just got out of Wolfgang's meetup. Profited $394 in about, what time is it? It's about 11:40 right now. So in about 5.5 hours of play. So not a bad session. I started off down pretty good. Had to buy in for my last 200. So it was in for 4, out for $794. So honestly, a good profit. Needed that. Had some big hands, as you guys saw. But hopefully in the future, I'll keep up some videos and get some home game action. Probably some 25-50 with my friends from school, but or maybe another vlog from RCG in the future within the next week. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know with any comments or suggestions you have about how I played some of those hands. Peace. I forgot to mention the whole point of this video was Wolfgang's meetup. Shout out to you, Wolfgang. It was great meeting you. You gave me a lot of good tips about vlogging and how to gain more subscribers quicker, and hopefully I could put those tips to use in the near future. But just shout out to you, man. Also met Jack from NextGen. If you guys are watching this, shout out to you guys. Hopefully we'll be on the felt sometime again soon. But all right, guys, that's it for me.